style baked potatoes and lamb. I know it's been a while since I've gone live, but I am back. Considering that we are in the month of Ramadan, I am going a little bit late tonight, which is okay. As for me going live each and every single week, I'm not sure on how that's going to really play out during the month of Ramadan, considering that I am fasting, but I am back in the swing of making my videos, which is a good sign. And also, tonight is my very first time going live on Facebook, so we will see how that goes. I'm currently live on Facebook and on YouTube. And for those of you who have been part of my lives in the past, you know that this is a full behind the scenes look as to what I do when it comes to creating the content, the videos that that I share and post all over my social medias and my website, theegyptiancook.com. So the very first thing that I do when it comes to any of my cooking videos is I record all of my voiceover audio. So over here, as you see in front of me, are all of my notes for today's, well, I should say tonight's recipe video, where we are making baked potatoes and lamb in tomato sauce, also known as صينية batatas in Egyptian culture. And if you are wondering why the font size is so large, this is in fact Arial font, size 28-point font. The reason why it is so large, it is because I am legally blind. I was diagnosed with Stargardt's disease at a young age. I was about like 13, 14 years old, which means my vision is much more limited than your average person. So my vision, in fact, is actually 20/200 in both eyes as of my last doctor's appointment. And for those of you who do not know, if you have 20/20 vision, if what you see at 200 feet is what I see at no more than 20 feet, just to put it in perspective for you. So when it comes to reading, I have to do things a little bit differently. With that being said, considering my vision disability, I know a lot of you, when it comes to your favorite content creators going live, you want them to be able to interact with you in the comment section. Considering that my phones are within arm's length, as you just saw right now, I can not only not see myself off the screen, but to take it a step further, I will not be able to clearly see any of the comments as they are coming in. So if you have the expectation for me to say, you know, welcome to as people are coming into the live, that's just something that I physically cannot do. And if it upsets you, I don't know what else to tell you. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started with my voiceover audio because I am super hungry. I broke my fast today after Salat al-Maghrib. All I ate were 3 dates, then I drank some kefir, and I've yet to eat or consume anything else. So I'm definitely really hungry, and I already know that this live is going to take forever for me to cook, but it is what it is. You're all here for the ride. You know, I'm doing this. We're all doing this together, so it will be fun. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's record my voiceover audio, and then we will jump right into the rahma. I have a boneless lamb leg here that we will be using for tonight's recipe, as well as a giant bag of potatoes off to the side over here. We're not going to be using the full bag of potatoes, but so lamb, potatoes, life is good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. Today we are making Egyptian صينية batatas. A comforting baked dish of potatoes and lamb. I can't be pausing there. I need to say it all in one go. I don't know why I paused there. I just started thinking about something else. Let's try it again. A comforting A comforting baked dish of potatoes and lamb cooked in a rich... Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's get rid of that one. Let's try this again. I'm like two lines in and I'm already stumbling on my words. It's okay. This happens every single time I record my voiceover audio. It, when I'm sitting at my desk and so as I'm writing this and I'm sitting at my computer, I'll actually like verbalize this out loud as I'm writing it to see how it feels and like how it rolls off the tongue. And it will make sense like as I'm sitting at the computer. But when I come and I'm standing over here in the kitchen, like in the middle of where I'm actually doing it, sometimes it just doesn't roll off the tongue the way it did sitting at the computer. It's just a different feel. So let's try this again. A comforting baked dish of potatoes and lamb cooked in a rich tomato sauce. Much better. You have to try this Egyptian food. You have to. Start this recipe with some lahma. I'm actually going to do that one with, I didn't highlight it, so usually, so I'll highlight, like in my notes, I'll highlight what I need to put the camera up on me. I should do that one highlighted. So when it comes time, you'll get the full picture once all of this comes to life. Slice the... we're not going to show that part. Slice the lamb leg into small cubes. Now fry the lahma in semna along with a pinch of sea salt and black pepper. Let this cook for several minutes on each side until nicely caramelized and fragrant. Now let's add yellow onion, dried bay leaves, cardamom and cloves, ground coriander, sea salt, black pepper, and a splash of water. Just a splash. It's going to be more than a splash, but you'll get the picture once we get to that point. Once it reaches a boil, turn the heat down to... Nope. Oh boy, let's try that one again. Let's get rid of that nonsense. Nobody needs to see that. Let's try this again. Once it reaches a boil, turn the heat down to a medium simmer for about 45 minutes with the lid on. Fry diced onions with minced garlic in olive oil. Once fragrant, add diced tomatoes. Season it with ground coriander, sea salt, and black pepper. Let this cook and reduce to a thicker consistency while frequently mixing it. Nope. I don't like on how my tone was at the end. I thought there was more after, or I said like while frequently mixing it, but that was the end of the sentence and on to the next step. So let me re-record that one. So that way my tone and the flow into the next step will sound better. So let's try that one again. Where was I? While frequently mixing it, it's right here. Let this cook and reduce to a thicker consistency while frequently mixing it. Then introduce an immersion blender to this operation to make the sauce nice and smooth like you. Now onto the potatoes. Peel off the skin. And wash any zibala off the potatoes. For those of you who don't know, zibala is Arabic for garbage. Then slice the potatoes into circular dip. Nope. I jumped words. I said, so I wrote into 1/4-inch discs and then, but I said into circular. So like circular is not even written on here. Whatever, it'll be okay. Then slice the potatoes into 1/4-inch discs. Transfer the sliced potatoes to a large mixing bowl along with I was supposed to say thinly, not hiss. I don't know why I hissed. I think I like skipped the word thinly, but then was about to say sliced, so that then I caught myself, and that's why it sounded like or felt like a hiss. So let's try that one again. All right, game faces, people. No more laughter. We gotta take this very seriously. Transfer the sliced potatoes to a large mixing bowl along with thinly sliced onions. Much better. Season it with ground cumin, sea salt, and black pepper. Now it is time to layer the potatoes and lamb in an oven. Now it is time to layer the potatoes and lamb in an oven-safe baking dish with a lid. Add 1 layer of the seasoned potatoes. Let me redo that one. Add 1 layer of the seasoned potatoes and onions. I didn't write and onions, so that's why I wanted to re-record it, so that way I could add and onions. Since in the previous step we mixed the potatoes with the onions and then added the cumin, sea salt, and pepper. Then add some of the lahma to fill in the gaps. Repeat this process until you have layered all the potatoes and lamb. Now combine fresh bread. I'm done. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I make myself laugh. Whatever. It is what it is. It'll be okay. Now combine fresh lamb broth with the homemade tomato sauce. Pour this over the potatoes and lamb, ensuring it all gets covered. Give the baking dish a gentle shake. Then uncover it and let it bake for another 15 minutes until the... I shouldn't have paused. Let's try that again. Then uncover it and let it bake for another 15 minutes until the top layer is lightly browned and set. Here it is, fresh out of the oven. Serve it alongside Egyptian-style rosbid shariya, or bread, which is my favorite way. Garnish it with fresh cilantro. And it is ready to serve. Egyptian صينية batatas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all of my notes. Now combine. There might be one tweak, because over here, towards the end, that's where I say now combine the fresh lamb broth with the tomato sauce. But if I go back to where like I blended the tomato sauce now onto the potatoes, let's see, then introduce an immersion blender. Nice and smooth like you. No, because while the potatoes, that's why I didn't say it earlier, because while we're working on the potatoes, the lamb's still cooking. So I'll just let it be. So that takes care of that. Let me... All right, let me clear some of this just slightly out of the way. I need the knife. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just keep that how it is. Here, I may open this. Get it ready, because I do have some recording lines with the lahma, like some verbal recording lines. Let's go ahead. Get this out of the bag. Throw that out. All right. Oops. Be right back. I'm going to wash my hands. The sink is right behind you. So just bear with me, please, and thank you. All right, back in 3, 2, and 1. Oops. Life is good. Everything that you guys see on this screen right here is what will actually contribute to the final cut of the recipe video. So actually, let me make sure that everything is okay and you guys can see everything. Hopefully, this is essentially going to be my working station, so hopefully everybody can see everything okay. All right, first recording line. Start this recipe with some lahma. Okay. 2 more lines that I need to record. I can't be laughing for this. I'm just laughing because like it's just whatever. You'll get the point. Where's the lahma? Okay. Let me just check the positioning of the cutting board, make sure that's okay. No, I need to hold it up higher. Where's the lahma? I'm laughing because I'm over here yelling at a cutting board. So just like, if you get it, you're welcome. And if you don't get it, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this joke is not meant to be described. Okay, I'm yelling at a cutting board. Like, all right. So let me grab this like this. Okay. Let me set this down temporarily. Switch hands. There we go. This back. when I cut it, like when I do my editing and everything, hopefully I have everything in the right position and it will be a nice, smooth transition with the editing. Give me one moment, let me wash my hands, and I will be right back. All right. So this, let's wipe some of this down too. All right. Let's get this in position. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way because now we need to reposition my main camera down to focus on the food. These potatoes move to the side for now as well. Just push this stuff to the side. We'll all be out of frame. Now I need to go around here to reposition my camera. You can see it on the screen on the monitor there as to what I am doing. All right. And another thing too, so like I put this piece of blue tape right here, this painter's tape, whatever you want to call it. This lets me know, so the 16:9 videos, I keep it for, I'm now keeping it just for YouTube, in terms of like for the final cut of the video. And this blue tape, this piece of blue tape just is a reference point to let me know, for like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, where I edit it to the 9:16 framing or size. So let's go ahead and get this ready. So now I essentially just need to cube this lahma. So let me grab a plate just to move some of this out of the way. That was dramatic. So we're simply just going to cut this into like small cubes, essentially. That's the first step. Then after that, we're going to begin the cooking process. For those of you just joining in, welcome to my kitchen. I am Mohammed the Egyptian Cook. And for tonight's live, we are making a very popular Egyptian dish called sanayat patates, which is an Egyptian style baked potatoes with lamb and tomato sauce. It is one of my favorite Egyptian dishes, like probably top 10 for sure. I don't know if it would be top 5, I'd have to think about it, but top 10 for sure. So right now I'm working with a lamb leg, a boneless lamb leg. If you have a cut with the bone in, that's okay too. You can still use the bones in terms of for making the broth, because this recipe does require fresh lamb broth to be mixed in with the tomato sauce, which will come later in this cooking process. Some fat is okay, because we are going to caramelize this and we want this to cook well. If you want to trim off some of this fat, you can. Let's see how well I can do it. Don't want to waste any lahma. Well, it will all contribute. It will be okay. It's not the end of the world. Let's trade places, and then this one, what I slice from this is what I will actually record with my main camera. So let's get all these out of the way. Let's see, how can I easily do this? Because I don't want this much fat in with the lahma. Some is okay, but not a lot. This is the part where you need an extremely, like really like beyond sharp knife, so that way it could essentially slice through this like butter. Moving up in the world, making some sort of progress. Let me slice this down into strips, and once it gets smaller, it might be easier for me to slice it that way. But let's go ahead and record what I need, and we can go from there. Let's put this a little bit out of the way. Just doing the best I can to thin out some of this fat. If my knife was a lot sharper, and if I was better at doing this, I think we would be moving up in the world much faster. And then, though, it would still be okay. All right, after this piece, I'll continue the shots that I need for the final cut of the video, and then we will go from there. these pieces of fat out of the way. And let's bring this piece over. Let's see how we're looking. Position it like that. That. I'll do one more just in case after this one. Oops. I think we got the shot that I need. I'll make it work between the two that I took. Final stretch. And then we can start cooking. Let's get rid of this nonsense. Be right back. And then maybe just throw a pile here. So I just need to do like a shot, like a focus shot of me showing one. So I want some of the cut pieces to be in the background. Let's see, slice into small cubes. Okay, there's no bones in that, so that's why I didn't say that. All right. Let me wash my hands because I need to prepare for the next step. I need to bring the stove, the countertop stove over. Just give me one moment as I clean my hands, please, and thank you. All right. Let me move this plate to the side for now. And then this can go a little bit closer to you guys. I need to clean this up as well. Make sure it's all nice and clean before I bring over the countertop stove. All right. Countertop stove is behind you guys. To the left, countertop stove. Good as new. Now I need to bring over the pot as well, which is beside you guys. So just give me one moment, please. Ow, please, and thank you. Oops, oops. All right. All right, now we got the pot. Let's see, what are my lines, now fry, okay, and Samna. Alright. I need to reposition the camera. So just bear with me as I make these adjustments, please. And thank you. Let's see how we look. Let's get this lid out of the way. Okay. Let's see. Give me one moment. Let's try this again. Countertop is slanted. I don't like that hilly look. Oh. Oops. Give me one moment. Actually taking my camera off. I'm going to adjust this bottom plate, whatever it's called. Sometimes when it gets like loosened up over time, then it will cause that issue. All right. Hopefully this solves it. Just reconnecting the wires. Oops. All right, let's try this again and go from there. Still needs a little bit. I'm just gonna adjust the tripod. Internal temp too high, seriously. I didn't even do anything yet. Like, I literally did nothing, and it's telling me internal temp too high. This usually happens like once I start cooking in the steam, and like especially when I put the counter, when I put the camera up on the countertop to where it's like really looking into the pot, that's when it will start telling me internal temp too high. So we just need to give it like a minute or two for it to cool down. But while that is happening, let me grab what I need for this next part. So we got the semna, we got the lahma. Life is good. We're just giving my camera like a minute or two for it to cool down. Then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to cook this lahma. So this is lamb. This is a boneless lamb leg. I cubed it up into small pieces, as you can see here. Oops. So we just cubed it up into small pieces. I tried to trim a good amount of the fat off of this because there was a decent amount of fat. Some fat is okay, but a lot of fat, not so much. So once my camera cools down, we're going to throw some semna in here. Semna is Arabic for clarified butter. It's interchangeable between clarified butter and ghee, which I have right here. It's essentially just melting down actual like sticks of butter and then separating it from the milk solids so that way you have the clarified butter. So we're just going to caramelize the lahma just for a few minutes, cook it for a few minutes on each side with some sea salt and black pepper, just till it develops some nice color, and until it essentially becomes fragrant. But the color is what we're going for, and once that happens, we're going to add in all of our other ingredients that will contribute to the broth. And speaking of which, I can actually get that stuff ready during this downtime of my camera overheating. So for this onion, simply just cutting off the ends, peeling it, and we're keeping it whole because this one specifically will contribute to making the broth. That's no bueno. So let's get rid of that nonsense. This one we will save for later in the recipe for the tomato sauce, because I need like an actual whole onion. I don't know what it is about the produce lately. You'll buy like a bag of onions or like a bag of tangerines or whatever type of fresh produce, and then they will look good from the outside, and then within 1 or 2 days, one of them will just absolutely go bad, as kind of like what you just saw here just moments ago. So hopefully that is not the case with this one. I like barely did anything with this onion, and I already feel my eyes about to tear up. Oh boy. So a while back, I think it was for my kebab halla video, when it came time for my okay khalas moment, how did I say it? I said, oh, slicing this many onions will make me cry. Okay, khalas. Think happy thoughts then. So that was, that was my great comeback for, because you always see a whole bunch of stuff online, you know, people telling you, oh, kitchen hack, how to not cry when slicing onions. So, you know, some people will say throw the onion in the freezer for like 10 minutes before you're about to like slice it and prepare it. Others say take a wet towel and put it beside you. Others say it depends on how sharp your knife is. If your knife is really sharp, then it will reduce the likelihood of you tearing up. So there's just like a whole bunch of mixed kitchen hacks out there of what people say when it comes to not crying when slicing onions. I say think happy thoughts. That will counter you crying while slicing onions. And for the most part, it's actually working right now. So try it. Let me know what you guys think. I will be right back. Just getting rid of all these pieces right here. All right, let me grab another plate. All right, onion. Let's peel this one too while we're at it, because we will need it. After this last onion right here that's in my hand, we'll turn my main camera back on and we'll get back to recording for the final cut of this recipe video, which means we get to cook the lahma. Well, begin cooking the lahma. clear off. Oops. Let's clear off the cutting board. I will be right back. I'm going to wash my hands so that way my camera does not smell like onion. All right, let's turn my camera back on. Give it a minute. There we go. We're back in business. Okay, this can move out of the way. That is garbage. You don't need that. Mixing in with the lahma. Okay. So this can move to the side as well. Fry some now. All right. Let's give it a little bit for this to heat up, and then we can start cooking the lahma. Seriously? Need to swap out the butane. Give me one moment, please, and thank you. At least it happened in the beginning, not in the middle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in business. So my camera overheated earlier and my countertop stove underheated. So let's find a good happy medium and make some baked potatoes and lamb as I had originally planned. So let me go ahead and grab a cup of water too. As well. So when cooking with stainless steel, to know if it's ready to add your butter or your oil, whatever it is that you are using to cook, just take a little bit of water, just get your fingers wet and just splash it in there. If the water immediately evaporates, it is not ready. But if the water has that mercury effect where it kind of slides across, it glides across the top of the surface. Kind of like think of like an air hockey table. If it glides around like that, that means it is ready. And it also means that whatever it is that you are cooking will not stick to the bottom of will not stick to the surface. It only took, 47 tries. That's okay though. Let's move this to the side. Oops. Come in with some lahma. More lahma. This can go to the samna. Right. Get your cross here. That was the sea salt. Up next, we got some black pepper. I won't change the camera angle. I'll just keep it how it is right now. Let's get some mixing. turn up the heat a little bit. So we're just going to let this cook for a few minutes on each side, just to let the lahma develop some cover. See, it's for reasons like that why I record my voice over audio lines separately from my action shots, because I slip up on my words a lot. And there's only so many things that you can do over. So for example, like something as simple as me adding the sea salt. I used to say like add sea salt as I'm, putting the sea salt in, but then I would stumble on my words and, not say sea salt the way that I should be saying sea salt. And there's only so many times that you can do retakes or reshoots for these steps. So a good solution for me was just to essentially record a majority of my lines as voiceover audio lines. And then when it comes to the editing process, I trim down my voiceover audio to just, whatever it is I'm saying. And then I essentially like make it match whatever it is that I'm doing visually on screen. I need to play like musical chairs, but with my kitchen. So the lahma cutting board and this knife, I'm all set for now. So let me clean it while the lahma is cooking. So anytime I go, not just live, but anytime I cook in general, my kitchen turns into a disaster. It will end up looking like a hurricane ran through it. And in this situation, I am that hurricane. So I try to do the best I can to clean up as I go, but even with cleaning up as I go, it still turns into a disaster. Almost done here with the cutting board. Then I can jump back to the lahma. Okay for the cutting board. Let's check on the lahma. think that shot will be much better than the previous one. Let's take a look, make sure we're okay. I think we're okay. Now, I'm going to reposition this camera, get it off the counter, and put it back on the table. So just bear with me as I make these changes, please, and thank you. Let's see how we look. That should be okay. I think we're good to go. Just letting the lahma get a little bit more color. Too high. Before we move on, make sure you're subscribed. That should be okay. Let's tip this back down and let's add some stuff to the lahma. Let's zoom back in a little bit. Let's check it out, and we should be. Oh, we need to zoom in much more. Need to just tilt it down a little bit and then raise it up one more rotation. That should be okay. Let's check it out. So we got some cardamoms going into the pod, or spice cage, whatever you want to call it. Then we also got some cloves as well. So that's ready. That's ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So yellow onion, bay leaves. So bay leaves are up next, then the cardamom and cloves. All right. Nope. Oops. Let's make sure that one was in focus. We look like it's good to go. Let me put it on the other side of the onion instead, so that way it stays, because it went outside the my marking. So let me put it on this side actually. So let's try it again. It should be okay. As long as the beginning is in focus, we should be good to go, because the end result, it was still within the blue. We're good to go. Let's see. I need to grab a bowl for this next one. That was ground coriander. that was the salt of sea. And that was the black pepper, and then last part is a whole lot of water. I said just a splash of water, but you guys get the point. I used just about a gallon, almost a gallon of water. So now, once this reaches a boil, turn the heat down to a medium simmer for about 45 minutes. And then while we're waiting for this to boil, let me actually turn up the temperature for that, just to expedite the process. Then we will be working on the tomato sauce. We're going to be making the tomato sauce ourselves while the broth is cooking. So actually, let me actually switch this to behind us, to my main stove. So that way we're not using so much butane of this stuff. When we move this to the side for now. Ow. This cutting board back over. I'm gonna switch knives. Let's see, how many am I supposed to be using? Did I do 4? I think I wrote 4. Let's see, yeah. So there's our 4. These can go back in the fridge. Let me give these a wash. I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. I get a small, oops, that's not the knife that I need. Where is it? Oh, nope, that's not it. Found it. So while, is my camera still on or did it just overheat? I don't even know. I need to make sure it's actually off so that way it does not overheat. Yeah, I think it did just overheat. Otherwise the screen would not have gone black by itself. So first things first, let's remove the tomato pit. For the tomatoes, for the sauce, I'm just going to be roughly dicing them. They don't have to be perfect because once everything cooks, we're going to go in with an immersion blender. We're going to really smooth out the sauce. Oops. I need to grab a bowl for this. Do this one. Just roughly chopping the tomatoes because it will all be blended smooth for the tomato sauce. So it does not have to be perfect. But you also don't want, you know, such giant pieces either. For those of you just joining in, welcome to my kitchen. I am Mohammed the Egyptian Cook, and for today's live, we are making Egyptian style baked potatoes and lamb, also known as صينية batatas in Egyptian culture. This is definitely one of those really amazing comfort foods. If you have not tried it before, I highly recommend you give this recipe a try. So right now we have the lamb is on the stove right now beside us, which is to my left over here. So we're using a lamb leg, boneless lamb leg. We chopped it up into cubes, and then we also trimmed some of the fat, not all the fat, just some of the fat. And then we cooked it for a few minutes on each side just to give it some color. We seasoned it with sea salt and black pepper. And then once we got color on all sides, we added in the whole onion, cardamom, cloves, dried bay leaves, more salt and pepper, and then a whole lot of water, essentially and also ground coriander. Reason for that, we are not only cooking it, but also we want to produce fresh lamb broth. The lamb broth will contribute to the tomato sauce as well. So that is the reason why we are cooking the lamb the way that we are right now. So as of now, we're preparing, while we're waiting on the pot of lamb to reach a boil, just getting myself ready for the tomato sauce. Tomato sauce that I make is fairly simple, like incredibly easy to make, using just a few simple ingredients: onion, tomato, garlic, and for seasonings, coriander, cumin, sea salt, and black pepper. That's pretty much it. That's like my base of what I use anytime I make tomato sauce. Oops. I also make a mess along the way, as you just saw here. Whatever, it is what it is. Let me just wash my hands real quick and get situated with this mess. So not only are we making baked potatoes and lamb, we're making a mess all along the way. Whatever. It'll be okay. It's not the end of the world. Or is it? What else am I making? Why did I pull 3 onions and not just 2 for the potatoes? Oh, because one is being sliced with the potatoes. Oops. I accidentally sliced all the way through on that, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. This is contributing to the tomato sauce, so everything's going to be blended smooth anyways. That takes care of the onion. Oops, wrong bowl. Up next, we have some garlic. I just remembered I need to record a line. I didn't record the line saying skim any of the foam off the top when it comes to the broth, but I will remember to do that. When slicing garlic, a cup of water, just get your fingers wet, make the blade wet. The garlic will not stick to either the blade or your fingers. Should easily slide off the blade just like that. It looks like the lamb reached a boil. So let me finish up this garlic, then we'll bring the lahma back over here. We'll get the shots that I need. And we will go from there. Based on the amount of garlic that you are handling, you may need to reapply more water to the blade and to your fingers. Garlic is good to go. Let me wash my hands and move some stuff out of the way, and then we will bring the lahma back over so that way we can get the shots that I need with my main camera. And now that I'm looking at the pot of lahma, I actually don't need to say and skim any of the foamy white substance off the top because there is literally zero. So let me move this stuff out of the way because I have to come back over with the lahma and the countertop stove. So just playing some musical chairs, but in my kitchen, minus the chairs and minus the music. Oops. I need to wipe all of this down. Coming back over with the countertop stove. If you don't have oven mitts, I do have oven mitts, but if the handles are scorching hot, just take a towel, fold it how I just did. Just fold it in half the long ways, then fold it again, long ways, and then the closed side down, not the part that has like the two ends. Put that facing down, so that way it just lays perfectly flat on top of the pot. And then it goes over the handles, tucks underneath, life is good. You don't burn yourself. And if you do it right, the towel does not dunk into the lahma. All right, let me turn this camera back on. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, once it reaches a boil, turn the heat down to medium simmer for about 45 minutes with the lid on. All right, that should be simple enough. I already recorded those lines, but I just need to record the visuals that correspond with said lines. All right, let me zoom out just a little teeny tiny bit. That should be okay. And the lid is over there. The reason why I move my hand like that, in my mind as I'm doing the hand gesture, I say once it reaches a boil, as I already did say it. And I just visualize like how my body language would be as I'm saying whatever it is. But as you saw earlier in the live, I already recorded my voiceover lines. Right. Now I need to adjust the camera for this next shot. So just bear with me. You can see the chaos as it's happening on the monitor there of what adjustments I'm making to the camera as I myself am out of frame. Back up we go. One moment, please, and thank you. I'll put it up here for this next one. Let's tilt this down. Try to prevent my jacket from catching fire. Down just a little bit more. All right. I think that should be okay. We can move the lahma back to my main stove. So let's go ahead and do that. So now we just let this cook on like a medium simmer with the lid on. This will not only help the lahma cook, but it will produce that delicious broth that we need for later in this recipe that we will be mixing with the tomato sauce. All right, so we can, let's see, I still need this here because now we're about to be frying some some veggies. Let me grab another pan. Oh boy, I definitely need to adjust the camera. Up we go, and then tilt it down. That might be too far. Let's zoom in a bit and see how we look. Yeah, that's way too low. Let's tilt it down just a little bit more. All right. All right, I think that should be okay. What time is it? It is 10:37. We're about halfway there, maybe more or less. I don't know, we'll see. All right. You know what? Let me hold that thought just for one moment. Let me do a different pan instead, because that has mess written all over it. So be right back, swap, and go from there. Definitely need to adjust the camera now that I made that swap. It's okay though. No. Actually, we'll go back down to where it was, and we'll just tilt this up like that. Let's see how we look. All right, this will be okay for the first few shots. Because the first few shots, I'm going to add some. Let's get the fire going here. For the first few shots, I'm going to be adding the olive oil, followed by the onions, which are behind you, as well as the minced garlic, also behind you. So for those first 3 shots, we can keep it on this setting. And then when it comes time for me to mix and do some stuff, then we will change the camera angle for a better point of view of what is going on inside the pot. All right, let's see. Fried diced onion, minced garlic. Once fragrant, add diced tomatoes, seasonings. Okay. Let this cook and reduce. Okay. Before introducing immersion blender. Blah, 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 blah. Now onto the potatoes. All right. So once I have the sauce all made, then I have to go back and I have to record an actual action shot of me As I'm holding the tomato sauce, I'm probably gonna like do like probably be holding like the pot in my hand and do like a little scoop and say, what am I saying here? While waiting on the lahma and broth, prepare the tomato sauce. Is essentially my line that I will be saying as I'm holding the pot of the tomato sauce, and I'll probably do like a little scoop, you know, as I'm saying it, and hopefully it's okay. It's either going to be okay or it'll be a disaster, or it's going to be somewhere along those lines. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Water is bouncing around as it's supposed to. That lets you know that it is ready. Let's go ahead with some olive oil. A little bit more. Won't hurt. Let me grab the onions. That was the onions. Be right back with the garlic. As I said earlier, the trick to not having the garlic stick to your fingers or to the blade when you do that swipe, just run some water along your fingers and also the blade, and you will not have that sticky garlic. There's some leftover garlic that could not get on the blade, which is completely okay. So right now we got some onions and some garlic going on in here. And in about 3-ish minutes, we're going to come in with the tomatoes and seasonings. Let's see how I set everything. Fry it once fragrant, add tomatoes and seasonings. Alright, so add the tomatoes, then don't mix. Just in terms of, so I can remember how, I'm just going to keep the camera exactly how it is, because even when it comes time for the seasonings, I can hold it just like this. It will be in focus, so we're good to go. We're starting to get some color on the onions and garlic, but I'm going for a little bit more than just that. You can put the olive oil away. We're all set with that for now. Let's take a quick peek at the lahma. So far so good with the lahma. We got it going on my main stove over here to the side. In a moment I'll rotate you guys around so that you can see. I'll either rotate you guys around or I'll bring the lahma over. But for the meantime, let's focus on the sauce and get what we need done with the sauce. We're starting to develop a little bit more color, which is a good sign. Another like minute or two, these onions hopefully will be ready. If you wanted to add the tomatoes now, you could. I just like to add, give it a little bit more color, so that way it gives a better flavoring for the sauce. The onions and the garlic are one of the best parts of the sauce. So for like about a year now or so, I don't know the exact time frame, but like about a year, like I completely stopped buying, what's it called, canned tomato sauce anytime, especially like for my recipes. I've been working on just making my tomato sauce from scratch each and every time. And I keep it simple for its base. It's literally just the onions and garlic, where we're at right now, and then the tomatoes obviously, and then for the seasonings, coriander, cumin, sea salt, and black pepper. Like that is the base for my sauce, and I absolutely love it. I think it goes well with a lot of the dishes that I make. You could obviously add to it whatever it is that you would like, but it's definitely a good foundation for whatever dishes that you are making. So earlier, before we had the olive oil in, we did the water test when cooking with stainless steel. Just had like a small splash of water, dip your fingers in it and just splash the whatever stainless steel pot or pan that you're using. If the water instantly evaporates, it's not ready. You would think it's ready, but it's not ready. What you want to happen is the water to sizzle, but you want it to like bounce around or glide around the surface of the stainless steel. Kind of like think of like an air hockey table, where like the puck just like easily glides around and just bounces off the edges of the table. You want the same thing to happen with the water. When you splash it in there, you want it to ball up and just like bounce around how it does, and then it evaporates. But if it instantly evaporates, it's not ready. And if you start cooking when it instantly evaporates, say you're making something simple like eggs, for example, the eggs will actually stick to the stainless steel and it will essentially burn, and it will not be good. But if you get that they call it like the mercury effect, if you get that going, then the eggs or whatever it is that you're cooking will not stick to the will not stick to the pot or pan. That was the ground coriander. That was the sea salt. And last but not least is the black pepper. Okay, let it cook. I need to get myself ready for what's next, which is the immersion blender. So let's bring this over here like so. Actually, rotate it this way. Move the water over to this side. I don't think we need the water for anything else after this. The olive oil is just there just to help the keep the cord from just like jumping across. All right. Zoom out a little bit, just like that. Let's zoom out just a hair more. That should be okay. Let's go ahead and blend this. Let me actually turn down the heat just a little bit during this part. I'm actually going to add like 2 more tomatoes to this. And then, of course, when it comes time for me to, when I post this recipe, any adjustments that I make, because I originally called for 4, I'm going to add 2 more. So when I post this online to not only my website, but also all of my social media platforms, you will see the changes made also in the ingredients list. So just give me one moment. Let me wash these tomatoes. That's one. too. Just roughly slicing it, then I'll go back in with the immersion blender. Let me wash my hands. Oops. That's it for the tomato sauce. And for those of you who like to comment on my videos that I never make a mess, like in terms of my jacket and shirt, mess. It'll be okay though. I have a good dry cleaners that that takes care of me very well. So just give me one moment while I clean off the end of my immersion blender. So that way it does not dry up and crust over. All right, let me unplug this as well so I can get it out of the way. That's unplugged. Yeah, I don't even understand how like tomato sauce got all over the counter. Like, how is that possible? The sauce is not even that high in this pot. Like, I don't know, whatever. I'm asking rhetorical questions here. I know the answer. It's because I'm the one who's in the kitchen right now. It'll be okay though. All right. Let me adjust the camera. That one should be okay. Sauce looks in focus to me. In this area right here. All right, we should be okay. Now let me turn off the heat on that. Let me adjust my camera because I do have a talking line. So I just need to adjust the camera up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Nope, not zoomed in. While waiting on the lahma and broth, prepare the tomato sauce. That should be easy. Let's get it in one take. Let's get it in one take, and then let's move this out of the way. We're going to move on to potatoes, and then, well, I'm going to clean up this mess. I'll show you what the lahma is looking like thus far, and we will move on to preparing the potatoes. While waiting on the lahma and broth, prepare the tomato sauce. That should be easy. Here. While waiting on the lahma and broth, prepare the tomato sauce. I think that was good. Verbally, I think it was okay. Let's check it out visually. All right. I'm in focus. I'm still within the blue, which is good. That'll be okay. The pot, I don't have to be holding the pot all the way up. You were still able to see the spoon. It was like about this high, like where my pinky is, to where like the spoon went up, and you were able to see the tomato sauce drip down from the spoon. So we should be okay. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. I'm just going to set it on the stove behind me on a very low heat. Just so it stays hot. Let's go ahead. I'm going to quickly bring over the lahma so you guys can check on it. And not only I can check on it, but also you guys can check on it. Let's see how we're looking. So let's bring this pot over. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moment of truth. It is oops, don't want to turn off the flame. It is smelling good. It's looking good. We still have a lot more cooking to do, but in terms of forming the broth, it's all starting to come together. Let's give it a quick little taste. It's been cooking, it's 11:14. I think it was 10:37. I think when we swapped this over to back there, so it hasn't been a full 45 minutes yet. Yallah, Bismillah. This is going to be a win. All right, let's take this back to my main stove so that way we're not wasting so much butane. All right, this can temporarily move out of the way while we are working on preparing the potatoes. I'm also going to come in with a sponge, some soapy water to clean up my mess. Here, we can just set this here for now. Now onto the potatoes. Peel off the skin, remove any Zabada. Okay. Let's see, I need the big bowl for this. Big bowl. So let me do some of these. Actually, slicing those onions was a little bit rough. I'm literally about to tear up right now. If I tear up, somebody's definitely getting yelled at. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm like doing my best right now and not to tear up. I'm telling you, if I tear up, somebody's getting yelled at. Got some, some really thinly sliced onions. I think using the mandolin is a lot easier than me trying to get it so nice and thin and even like this. So let's get these all off the cutting board. Doing my best not to cry right now. So I'm definitely thinking happy thoughts, and the happy thoughts that I'm thinking of is yelling at somebody if I end up crying while making this. So those are my happy thoughts. It's like counterintuitive in a way. It's like reverse psychology or something. I don't know. Just don't question the process. It is what it is. All right. Now let's do some stuff with some potatoes. I need the peeler. Still doing the best I can not to cry. Let me lower this camera a little bit more onto the cutting board. Let's go all the way down actually. And pop it up, zoom in just a little bit, and we can adjust it from there. Be right back. Going to give these a quick wash. Be right back again. Come back over with some potatoes. Give me one moment. Let me swap my charger on my phones. All right. Say this, where am I? Peel off the skin, okay. Let's see how I'm looking. Do it right there. Let's move some of these out of the way then. Start with this one. I'm purposely not going to record this one, just to get it going. I have 9 more to choose from, so it should be okay. For those of you just joining in, welcome to my kitchen. I am Mohammed the Egyptian Cook, and for tonight's live, we are making a popular Egyptian dish called Sanayat Patatis. It is essentially a baked potatoes and lamb recipe. It's baked potatoes and lamb in tomato sauce. So as of right now in the cooking process, we have the lamb cooking on the stove. We cubed it up, we seasoned it. And then we added some other ingredients to it and water to not only cook it, but to make a fresh lamb broth. And then we just finished up the homemade tomato sauce. which was fairly simple as well. Just fried onions, garlic, tomato, and then some seasonings, and then we blended it all together with an immersion blender. And now we are working on preparing the potatoes. Once the potatoes are prepared, then we're going to season them up along with these onions that almost made me cry. And once we have those all seasoned up, then we're going to layer the baking dish. We're going to layer the potatoes, the onions, and the lamb with the tomato sauce all together. We're also going to be using a very important part of this recipe and this process in general is we're going to be combining the lamb broth with the tomato sauce together before we pour it all over the dish before it goes into the oven to bake. So right now we're simply just peeling the potatoes. I was about to say tomatoes. So right now we're just simply peeling the potatoes, and once we get them all cleaned up, we're just going to be slicing them into like no more than 1/4 inch thick discs. So we're just literally just going to be slicing it down, slice, 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 slice. I'll see how thick, actually, let's do a test run right now. Actually, let me get these all cleaned up, then we'll do a test run with the mandolin, see how it looks. We'll see how it looks with the, like how thick we can, if we can get like a good thickness with the mandolin. Because you don't want it to be too thin, but you also don't want it to be super thick. So like 1/4 inch is like a good happy medium width for the potato slices. After this one, I will record what I need for the final cut of the video. That's essentially what you see on this monitor right here. So any of the live footage, that's literally just for the live footage. I don't use any of that for the final cuts of my recipe videos I post to like my social media platforms and to my website, theegyptiancook.com. All of that comes from my main camera, which is what you see here on the monitor. It is currently not recording. It's just giving you a live feed of everything that it is focused on. All right, let me rinse off my hands real quick so I can handle the remote. Oops, that's upside down. There we go. Gonna finish cleaning this one up. Then I'll check the recording, make sure that my hand is staying within the blue. And if it is, then I got the shot that I need. And we can move forward with just cleaning up the rest of these and go from there on to the next step. I'm within the blue. Let me do one more. Just to be, because my hand looked in focus and all of this looked in focus, but the potato to me did not look in focus. I know it sounds a little bit strange, but just to be safe, because I sometimes do make that mistake where it won't be like, as I'm editing it, it will be too late where the wrong thing is in focus. So I just want to make sure, so like all of this looks in focus, you know, even my arm, my jacket and everything. I want the potato to be what's in focus though. So actually, let me zoom a little bit. Potato. This one should be okay. Actually, I'll do this one. All right, this is going to be it. All right, let's check it out. All right, I like this one much better. I'm still within the blue. We can edit that struggle out. It'll be okay. So I got the shot that I needed. So now I can just go through and peel the rest of these potatoes and not have to worry about recording anymore, at least for this step. All right, all the potatoes are peeled. going to go wash, be right back. Potatoes are all cleaned up. Let me get this cleaned up, so I'll be right back again. Oh boy, oh boy. Where are my lines? Transfer. Okay, sliced potatoes too large. Let's see how it looks. Like how. I can get like a good thickness using the mandolin. That way all of them can be nice and even. And when it comes time for it to bake, they can all be nice and evenly cooked. Actually, let's see. So this is as thick as it can go. It looks like it's a little bit less. Than a 1/4 inch. I'm not sure on what the exact measurement is, but clear up these onions that are still sticking. Oh, that was stupid. Oh man, that was so stupid. That was really dumb. Whatever. It is what it is. Alright, we're not going to use this potato. We're not going to use this mandolin. Oh man. I definitely need to clean this up. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yep, that's not good. just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, as I get this cleaned up. Swap out the paper towel. This thing keeps on bleeding through. I'm okay. Okay, these paper towels absolutely suck. The commercials make it seem like all, great and all, can wipe everything up, but it can't stop your finger from bleeding. This is literally my third sheet just to get my thumb to stop. Alright, I think I have Band-Aids somewhere in here. No. This is like such an annoying place to like cut yourself, like whatever. It could have been much worse. So alhamdulillah, it did not completely slice off my finger. It did spray like I think it was when I like when I initially like whipped my my hand back, it just like a line of blood, like whatever. It'll be okay. Just set it right there for now. Let me come through. Oh boy. I'm going to grab another towel to dry this up. Can go for laundry. No blood got on this. I think we're good to go. It was all like in this area right here. So I think we're good to go. Let me so I still need to slice the potatoes, season it. I'm like at like the tail end. Really all it's really left for me to do is to slice the potatoes, season it, mix it with the onions, and then layer everything together and then bake it in the oven. All right. Let me wash my cutting board, actually. Excuse me. Here, let me bring you guys over this way, actually. I'll rotate you guys like this for now. So over here, big pot, we got the lahma, we got the lamb and lamb broth. In here, we got the tomato sauce. Just let me clean up some of this nonsense I got going on over here. So I definitely need to clean the cutting board, that's for sure. And the mandolin. So let's go ahead, get that out of the way. This sponge can go too. I'm not going to use that one again. Be right back. I'm going to shut off this camera too while I'm at it. go in the dishwasher. That can go back in the fridge. All right. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's check. Let's just take a look at what's going on over here. So my finger keeps on bleeding through the Band-Aids, so I may have to end this live early. We're kind of like at the tail end anyways, where I have to wait on it to bake for at least an hour, like anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes anyways. So I'll give you guys like a quick recap of what's going on. And because I need to stop in order for me to like continue with like slicing the potatoes and all this. I actually need to get this to stop bleeding, because it will not stop at all whatsoever. It's bleeding. It already bled through 3 paper towels and now these Band-Aids. And I definitely still need to finish this recipe video in general. So I'll give you guys a quick recap, and then I'll end the live, but I'll continue working like off screen with the rest of this recipe video. And by tomorrow, what's today? It's 11:55 by me, so it's basically almost midnight. I'll have this recipe video, like the final cut, posted no later than like Monday night across all social media platforms and my website. So in here, we got the lamb and lamb broth. It smells very aromatic. So for this, it's fairly simple. We had a lamb leg, boneless lamb leg. We chopped it up into smaller cubes. We trimmed off some of the fat, not all of it. We saved some of it. Some fat is okay. And then we cooked it for a few minutes on each side with some semna, which is clarified butter, with some sea salt and black pepper. And then once it got some nice color, then we added in 1 whole onion, 4 dried bay leaves, 8 cardamom, 8 cardamom, and 8 cloves, and some more sea salt and black pepper, and also ground coriander. Then we topped it all off with almost a gallon of water, just shy of 1 gallon of water. We brought it to a boil, and once it reached a boil, we turned the heat down to a medium simmer, and you want it to cook for at least 45 minutes, just to allow it time to not only cook the lamb, but also to create that fresh lamb broth. The lamb broth is what we're really going for here, not just flavor, but we're really going for the lamb broth. So once we had that going, we moved on to this pot right here, which is the homemade tomato sauce. This was a fairly simple process. We fried some onions and some minced garlic together, and once it got some color and became fragrant, we added in some roughly diced tomatoes. Then we seasoned it with ground coriander, sea salt, and black pepper. Mixed it all together, and then we let it cook for like a few minutes, and we came in with an immersion blender, blended it all down together to make it nice and smooth. And then I've been keeping it on low heat ever since. And then we just finished peeling some potatoes. We did 10 russet potatoes. We had just finished peeling them and cleaning them up. And then we're supposed to slice them into 1/4-inch discs. And I thought, let's use the mandolin. But for whatever reason, I took off the cover, and first slice, it slipped and took out half my thumb, which it is okay. Blood splattered all over the counter and the floor. I think some got on my suit. Yep, some definitely got on my suit as well. Yep. So yeah. So I cleaned all that nonsense up. Yeah, and here we are. So let me figure out this situation, because I'm literally bleeding through all of the paper towel and these Band-Aids, and I still need to figure out, and I still need to finish this recipe video. So I think now is like a good point for us to end it. And then you guys can pick back up with the final cut, which I will be posting to all of my social media platforms and my website, theegyptiancook.com, by tomorrow night, which is Monday, March 2nd, I believe, whatever Monday is. Yeah, March 2nd. So by Monday night, I will be posting it at the very latest. And on my website, theegyptiancook.com, that is where you can find all of my recipes. With that being said, thank you to everybody who joined in for tonight's live. I'm a disaster. It is what it is. I am Muhammad the Egyptian Cook, and I will, hopefully I see you guys next week for my next live. I don't know exactly when, because considering that it is Ramadan, so I'm not yet back on my regular, weekly lives on Sundays, given that it is Ramadan. But we will see what happens. Once Ramadan is over, then I will most likely go back to my weekly lives on both YouTube and now Facebook. Tonight was actually the first night that I went live on Facebook. So I got Facebook to my left and YouTube to my right. But other than that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody who tuned in tonight. I'll definitely be going through the comments and everything once this live is over, and then for my following live I will be giving those shout outs and thanks to whoever was in the comments and all that fun stuff. But thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you and have a wonderful night.